March 8th meeting of the St. Joseph County Board of Commissioners to order. First item, stand for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First order of business, opening reading of bids. IPG open quotes for Portage Manor garage demolition. Begin that process. We'll continue along our meeting and come back to first item. Moving on to reports and requests. First is the Board of Commissioners, the accounts payable docket. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote? Aye. Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Castelli, how do you vote?
Aye. Moving on to Hospital Authority of St. Joseph County, reappointment of director. We are Rebecca Bottoms. This is an appointment like you would normally do a board appointment, or is this?
Correct.
So now open up nominations.
A nomination for Rebecca Bonham.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I will close nominations.
I will second that motion for Rebecca Bonham.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote? Aye. Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Castelli, how do you vote?
Aye.
She'll be appointed for another 4-year term.
Yep. Next, move on to Resolution R7C2022, resolution to opt back into the opioid settlement pursuant to Indiana Code 4-6-15-2. Counselor.
Been in close contact with Erwin Levine of Cohen Malad, who's been handling the action relating to the opioid litigation. They were working closely with our legislators to modify the legislation regarding the proposed settlement here with some of these distributors. The prior terms required, if we had opted in at that time, that the county would not be able to participate in any future settlements with any other entities. That was not acceptable to the county at the time. That has been modified. They're also modified the attorney's fees, so the attorney's fees will actually go down that the county owes. So at this point, we're asking that the county opt back in. The initial payments should start as early as April. It is my understanding that the county stands to receive from this set of settlements somewhere just shy of $2 million. It'll be a payment schedule of approximately 18 years. And it is not an even flow of money. I believe more money is paid up front and then less over time.
When do you think that's going to be done? It's been years that we've been.
Now, so once we opt in and we send all this back, we should have payments coming in as early as next month.
Oh, good, okay. Finally, yes.
I want to thank the work that Mike Mischief and particularly Jamie Woods, our previous county attorney, who shepherded us in what we think is the right way through this process. But now that some of the changes made at the state level have made it more reasonable for us to join. So thank you for your work there. Is there a motion?
A motion to approve this resolution R-7-C-2022 for the new opioid settlement of the Indiana Code.
Second.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote? Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Castelli, how do you vote?
Aye. All right, moving on to PSAP. Approval of proposal from Priority Dispatch for QPR assistance for emergency, medical, and fire dispatch. Do we have anyone from PSAP on the call?
Well, I will make a comment even before, because I sent some information and actually a request on the 4th of this month to Priority Dispatch regarding a former employee and a current employee at PSAP, seeing what contractual things they have with them, and we have not received any information. Our attorney attempted to call and he was hung up on, because I wanted to delve into that issue, because in our employee handbook on 2.15, actually paragraph 5, there's a provision in there that there should be written permission from a commissioners when somebody deals with a company that we have a contract which we do, and I want to get more information, so I'm going to make a motion to table this until we can get further clarification
Oh, really?
from our perspective.
So does that impact, though, the
It says
service
that
that
this
they
goes
provide?
until May 14th,
Okay.
so I'm sure we can put it on next
That's fine.
week as soon as we get with whatever, and I'll get a hold of the interim director to talk and say, hey, there's stuff that I'm looking into.
Okay. So we have a motion. Is there a second?
Oh, second.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Castelli, how do you vote?
Aye. Moving on to old business, that is remain table. I guess we'll figure out if we will be taking any action that we can remove this from the old business. Line item. Let's circle back to quotes for the Portage Manor garage demolition.
Certainly. Bill Shallow, Economic Development, they're doing this today on behalf of Sky Meadows. Two bidders, or two packets were received, one from Richard Brothers Incorporated at 1204 West Sample Street, the other one from Indiana Earth at 10343 McKinley Highway. There are 15 categories within the documentation. The proposal from Richard Brothers is $347,174. The proposal from Indiana Earth is $329,900. So for Richard, it's $347,174. Indiana Earth, $329,900. I would ask that these be received and turned over to our engineers on the project to review for a recommendation at a future date.
Any questions or comments?
Sure. That's for the garage that you guys were looking at all summer in the back and that thing.
Yes.
Is that a pretty high price to take a garage down, or?
I've been out of the project for a while, but I see a lot of head nods on the other side of the room from our DLC consultants, so I believe that was perhaps a little more than we had anticipated.
So that's for taking the garage down there that needs to be done, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'd like, because that, how big is that garage?
$100 for this square footage. So Stephen Fromkowski with DLC, we did put together the package. There was line items that we asked for to determine what their total was. It seems a little higher than we would expect. I know that the bidding climate is very busy right now, and so we want to look at that. Also, there was we weren't taking it all the way back to the building. We were taking back up to a logical stopping point, and then we were refacing the the building with new
Does
brick.
that come to where the boiler rooms are?
Yeah,
that
not
part?
even that far. It was
Okay.
basically 20 feet from that point.
So we're looking at maybe 25 feet wide by,
2,500 square feet.
that's a lot of money for.
Two levels.
I guess it'll be the decision that we make if we
So-
spend it or not.
So we will look at it, we will
My
confirm
questions
that
are
they reviewed the documents. There
So
was
you couldn't ask
also
any
a
more
couple of
questions.
underground storage tanks. One
Right.
was being removed, the other was being infilled and abandoned, or closed, I guess is the proper
So
term.
what's underneath that?
Underneath what?
The building,
There's a
theoretically
basement
maybe
underneath it.
taken down?
There is a
Right.
basement underneath it.
Okay.
With concrete cribs. So we were basically breaking up the foundation to allow drainage and then backfilling with material. So we will go back and investigate where those numbers were
that
at.
seems pretty expensive to me.
We had solicited from 4 or 5 other vendors. We only received 2. There was 3 that had attended the mandatory pre-bid meeting, and we only received 2. So I suspect just workload is probably a factor in this as well. So we have to come back and report.
Any other questions or comments? Is there a motion?
A motion to receive at least these at this point.
I will second the receiving motion.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Castelny, how do you vote?
Aye. Moving on to public comment. Is there any public comment? Comment away.
Deborah Durrell, 21677 Autumn Road, South Bend. I'm going to read something by Richard Blanco, How to Love a Country. Those picture books from grade school days, pilgrims in tall hats, their gold-buckled shoes. Life, liberty, happiness for we the people, singing of shining seas crossed, the spacious skies of a God-blessed land when a song and a book were all I knew of country. I've forgotten the capital of Vermont and Iowa, but I remember my eyes on a map mesmerized by faraway cities, towns I couldn't pronounce. The vast body of this land belonged to me and I to it. The rocky spine, blue stare of the Great Lakes and the endless shoulders of coastline, the curvy hips of harbors, rivers, and when what I knew of country was only what I read from a map. I wanted to live in the house I dreamed from. Television, cushy sofas, crystal candy dishes, children with allowances and perfect teeth. Though the gunfire blood of war beamed in my bedroom, fantasy was still all I could believe of country. I didn't want to change the channel, but I did. I lifted the shades, let light shine on the carpets, stained with lies I'd missed, and saw the dust of secrets settled over the photos. How could you, America? With no answer, for all I knew of country was my hurt and rage. But home was home. I dusted off the secrets, cleaned up the lies, nailed the creaky floors, set a fire, and sat with history books I'd never opened, listened to songs I'd never played, pulled out an old map from a dark drawer, and redrew it with more colors, less lines. I stoked the fire, burning on until finally, okay, nothing's perfect, I understood. I forgive you, I said, and forgiveness became my country. I stayed, you stayed, we stayed for our boys and girls returning as heroes, some without legs or arms, for our Challenger and towers fainting from the sky, for the terrified lives of the Big Easy stranded like flightless birds. But we swept each grain of sand back to shore for the candles we lit for our 20 children of Sandy Hook, feeling what we've always felt. To know a country takes all we know of love. Some days are better than others, but never easy to keep our promise every morning, of every year, of every century, and wake up, stumble downstairs with all our raging hope, sit down at the kitchen table again, still blurry-eyed, still tired, and say, listen, we need to talk.
Right at 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comments?
Dan Caruso, 305 Compton Street, New Carlisle. Having just witnessed firsthand the really, all I can say, dysfunctional redistricting process we've just gone through around here, and our two bodies, the commissioners and the council, not playing well together, and just several months of drama, people spending money needlessly, and as long as we have districts that your representatives come from, and as long as those people elected by those districts vote today the way their constituents in their district ask them to do, that person will never be in fear of being reelected, even if that person is not doing what is in the best interests of the county. For that reason, I have contacted formally Ryan Dvorak and Mike Bahachik, who are my representatives from the New Carlisle area, and asked them to move to change the state constitution for the voting laws in St. Joseph County to move our commissioners and our council to an at-large election, where they're elected by all of St. Joseph County. So somebody who is not acting in the best interests of St. Joseph County consistently, in some cases, can then not be protected by the district that they are elected from. We all are elected by all the residents of St. Joseph County. So if all 9 of the all 9 of the counselors and all 3 of the commissioners are off on a lam somewhere, we put them all on the same election cycle. You come up on the same first Tuesday in November every 4 years, and we can throw all 12 of you out at once. That way, if there is someone in there that is voting out of step, not the way we expect them to vote, the whole county can say, you're out of here. We got somebody new to put in that seat. We can do 1, we can do 3, we can do 5, we can do 12. Thank you.
Thank you. And you may, I think Senator Bohacik is no longer your representative.
Really?
As of redistricting of this year, I believe he no longer holds any part of St. Joseph County, but you may want to look into it. Any other public comments?
Just quickly, there was a meeting in New Carlisle by their town council about a master plan, and their date to finish that is December. But I told them they should get with Abby so there's no real spread between our master plan and theirs. I know we're doing one, I think at the end of March out there, is that right?
Yeah.
And there's 2 at our library downtown, so it was a hodgepodge of comments at that meeting, by the way. So I said, just so there's no huge conflict between your plan and the county's master plan. There you go.
Sweet. Any other public comments? Hearing and seeing none, a motion to recess is in order.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Dieter, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Fleming, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Castelmi, how do you vote?
Aye. We are recessed. I just